You are listening to the Mark Lesko podcast, a podcast by diehard fans for fans. Mark covers all things Penn State football and the Pittsburgh Steelers, as well as anything related to the sports and fitness world. Tune in weekly to listen to a couple of dedicated fans talk about these topics without filters. Thank you for listening to the Mark Lesko podcast.
What's up, Steeler Nation? Welcome to the Mark Lesko podcast. I'm your host, Jay Rod, and this is Steelers Central. Folks, this is it. This really is. I know we can say, oh, the NFC, it's not that big of a deal. No, guys, this is a statement game regardless of if it matters in the standings for the playoffs. It does not matter. It has to matter, but people say, well, it's a kind of game you can throw away because it's the NFC. No, this right here is about as big as it can get. Yeah, this Monday night we beat the Dolphins, and great. It was nice to see that, but this is a different animal. This is the Lions. This is a completely exactly and exact. But, this whole thing has gone down with, can the Steelers still win these games with the injuries that they have? This is really the big question. I know we have a lot of injuries, and this is going to be against us, and we're going to have a lot to, figure out, and it's going to be tough. It's figuring out what Terrell Austin and company are going to be doing for the starters. As far as the, TJ Watt situation, they say he's back at the facilities, but he's nowhere near thinking about getting into this season. Like, it's not a question of, next week's game or what, is he going to be back at all this season? And I really don't know what to say about the situation, but that right there is unfortunate. That type of stuff should not exist, but this is how things want to go down, and that's how the facility wants to handle itself. And I really don't know how the NFL is going to handle it, but it just does not look good, no matter how you try to spin it or how you try to look at it, accident or not. Things like that should not happen to players, and they should not be putting themselves in those positions to have that happen. So it's all over. It's everybody. It's not just like, oh, the training staff or whoever, the medical staff did what they did, or TJ didn't need to, whatever. It's just this whole situation should not have gone down the way it did. And now we have to deal with this reality that TJ may not be back at all. I don't really know what more to say about it, but it's unfortunate. And the fact that it happened just goes to show you that anybody can have something happen to them at any given time, especially in the NFL, especially when it comes to the medical stuff. He wanted to have the procedure done. That was his choice, and the staff did what they did, and it collapsed his lungs. So this is really what it comes down to. So I'm going to just move on to this game today, guys, and say that this talking point for the kickoff, Steelers at Lions, can they be tamed? And that really is going to be a big question, especially with TJ Watt being out. Now that Nick Herbig is also out, that's also another edge rusher that you can't afford to lose. I know that Nick's actually more expendable probably, or TJ's more expendable than Nick. I think Nick is very, very valuable, and the fact that he's not going to be in this game either, they're going to have to rely on the rookie Jack Sawyer. He's going to have to play his butt off today, and he's going to have the game of his life. So Alex Highsmith and Sawyer, whatever side that Sawyer is on, these guys are going to be going that direction. And of course, this is the craziest run game that you're ever going to face. It's one thing to know that we have faced the likes of Jonathan Taylor, Apache. Is that how you say that guy's last name for the Dolphins? I cannot remember if that's how you say it. Again, I don't want to butcher the guy's name. We've faced a lot of good running backs in our system. Of course, with, Derrick Henry, this whole season has been a test for the defense for running backs. And now we have two. We have Montgomery and we have Gibbs. Sonic and Knuckles, as they call them. It's just not that it's an unfair situation, but that's just crazy to think that an NFL team has not one, cowbell, but two. Like these guys are probably the best at their position, and the fact that they share the field. And I think if I saw right, Montgomery has somewhere around 800 or 900 yards this season, and Gibbs has like 6 or 7. Like together, they are just the greatest running back. So you're talking about a defense that has shown up in certain times inconsistently. But the big news is Derek Harmon is back. That is a huge boost for the defense to help with the run game. So there's a lot to kind of be hopeful for. I mean, what we witnessed against the Dolphins, and the Dolphins don't have a bad defense. Their problem is their offense is atrocious with Tua Tagovailoa. So the fact that we had our defense and our offense do what they did against their defense, I know it was a cold game. It's a tough one to really measure, but the fact that they went out there and used their tight ends, finally they used their tight ends. They are absolutely in the best situation they can be in for their offense to start going. This right here was the best time for this offense to catch fire. And with a lot of the, again, questions on defense, our offense is going to have to be the thing we rely on. And I know that, did Jalen Warren clear? I don't know if he's still hurt. Gainwell had a game. So, I mean, I know that we're wondering, can this run game get going? And right now, Gainwell is the hot topic. He is definitely the hot commodity. And if he can keep what he was doing up from last week, that would be a huge help for this team. And that's another thing. The defense for the Lions, if I heard correctly, they're like 24th or 25th with pass defense. So this seems to be the time for Aaron Rodgers and company to do what they did last week all over again. Now, the big difference with your game plan and your scheming, what you are witnessing right now with the wide receivers of adding guys like Marcus Valdez-Scantling and Adam Thielen. I know they're older guys, but it does show you that years of doing playbooks and learning the schemes, that really does open up the field for DK. Doing your routes right and seeing it as they showed on this field last week, the Steelers very much have a fantastic opportunity to really get going with the scoring, with the touchdowns for Metcalf, maybe even for the tight ends, really open up the field for their routes and get Darnell. Hopefully he's 100% again. And yeah, Jonnu had a decent game. He had just a couple of catches and that touchdown, but still the rushing touchdown, that was just that was insane. I cannot believe I saw that stat. But they are definitely going into this game with a lot of momentum offensively. I know they're hurt defensively, and we're just going to hope and pray that the offense shows up today and does exactly what they did last week and give these guys the best chance. Now, as far as the game itself goes, the 5 things that I would like to see for this game today, you're going to be seeing, number 1, fill the holes as best as you can with the guys with their backups, like whoever's a backup today, defensively, offensively, whoever, even on the line, which, that's another thing that's decimated. Not only is Broderick Jones hurt, but now Isaac Seumalo's down with his tricep injury. We're going to have Pete back. I heard that, Andres Pete. So that's a huge help for the line. And Dalvin Cook, guys, let's just give the man his praise. I mean, all the week long, from every analyst, it's just you talk about with Pittsburgh, it's like, who's Dylan Cook? Or like, how did Dylan Cook show up? It was the best news to see him do what he did. It was great. But yeah, so there's going to be some things we're going to have to look for the backups to show up and, do the best they can with what they're given. And number 2, I want to see Boswell have a game today. I need to see the kicker get in field goal range, make sure that our points matter. Because again, any points against this team, because you're not the best scoring team in the league for nothing. I mean, the Lions have one of the best offenses in the NFL. So the fact that we're not going to be doing anything defensively against them, we're just going to have to put up a lot of points. So Boswell, if he gets the chance to kick a field goal, put up the points. So you're going to have to score as much as you possibly can. Pretty much every possession is going to need to be a score, either a field goal or a touchdown, but mostly I want to see Boswell show up today. Number 3, I would like to see Gainwell continue the success he had. I don't mind if Warren wants to join in on it, but it's becoming apparent. I know now Jaylen Warren did have an illness last week, so that may have limited him. So we don't know exactly the whole extent of why Jaylen did not show up in that game. So in the end, I would very much like to see the run game to continue to see some success, regardless of the offensive line issues. Again, the defense is not the best strength for the Lions. Try your darndest to find the holes you can. Number 4, I would say control time of possession again. I know it's going to be virtually impossible to like slow the game down, but you saw exactly what they needed to do last week. That's one of the things I very much needed to see. Them control their offensive play and control that clock when they had the ball so that the offense couldn't do anything on the other side. That's really what we need to see here too. We need to maintain the ball as much as possible so that Jared Goff and company cannot do anything. You know, you're not on the field, you can't score. So that's number 4. Number 5, I guess, just show us that you're a playoff team. I mean, if it's going to be a tough loss, that's going to hurt. It's going to sting a little, but just show us that you actually want this. I mean, that's really what we've had an issue with the Steelers for a long time. The inconsistencies, not showing up week after week. We're going to have to do that for this one for sure. I mean, it's the best test. You do this against a team like Detroit, who is, you know, fumbling a little bit here and there. The NFC North, you know, between the Bears and the Packers, we watched it last night. Love is now down with his injury, and the Bears had that insane overtime thrill win. So they're 11-4. They're going to probably take that division, and the Lions now see the opening to take the wild card spot over the Packers. So they're going to be coming out and doing everything they can to win this game. So number 5 is just show us that you can do that too, because you're playing for something too. The Ravens are on your heels every single week. I don't care if it's the Patriots. I don't care if it's the Packers. Again, the Packers now lost Jordan Love, so they're going to be an easy win. It's all setting up for Week 18 to be the Steelers and Ravens prime time for the AFC champ North. I mean, that's what we're going to have to deal with. And I'm sorry, I hate that we can't go into the AFC North game against the Ravens with like backups and having to bye a week, but that's not what the NFL wants. They want us to have to go through the gauntlet and deal with it. So that's the reality, folks. I'm setting up for that, and it sucks, but that's really what it is. So let me break this game down. Again, my preseason, I did have thus losing this game today, so I have to go in that direction. How I'm going to set this prediction up. This game, let's see. In the first quarter, I'm going to say this is going to be, I think we're going to tie. I think we're going to score a touchdown each. It's going to be 7-7 after the first, and then it's really going to pick up with the scoring. We're going to score a touchdown 14-7. They're going to score a touchdown 14-4. We're going to score a touchdown 21-21. They're going to score a touchdown, and we're going to kick a field goal before the half is done. So that's going to be 24-21 Steelers at the half. Like I am predicting high score by the half. In the third quarter, that's where they're going to score a touchdown. It's going to be 28-24. We're going to kick a field goal. It's going to be 1-point possession going into the fourth quarter, 28-27. They're going to score another touchdown, make it 35-27. We're going to score a touchdown, and we're going to be down 1 point. They're going to kick a field goal for good measure, and we're going to try and score a touchdown, but we're going to fall short. So I think this game is going to be 38-34 Detroit. It's going to be crazy. I know that's overstepping it, guys, but that's what I'm going to predict with this. So that's all, guys. So I hope that you enjoy the game today. I hope that everything happens. Now, again, if they want to prove us wrong and actually keep this lead between the Ravens and us, like now, again, this could be interesting. If the Ravens lose today and we win, then we will still have a 2-game lead. And I think even if they beat the Packers and we beat the Browns, I'd like to think if we beat the Browns, we're going to go into that game as the champions. So that's really what I think it's going to look like. That might be the case. Now they could win. Yeah, I don't know that may actually still need to be, we need to win that game. Because if I'm right, So we're right now, they're 7-7, and we're 8-6. So if they go to 7-8, they win 8-8. Yeah, it was still, I think we would go out of this 10-7. So yeah, if we win the game against the Browns and they lose, or they win the Packers game, if we win these next two games and the Ravens lose one game, we win the North. So it's possible that we could still go into Week 18 having a little bit of a bye week. Maybe see Will Howard on the field. I mean, I think that's what everyone's hoping for. So that's really what we're trying to shoot for, guys. So I hope you guys enjoy the game. I will see you after. I hope we have good news. But until that time, guys, here we go, Steelers.